Hello, beautiful souls. Today I'm reporting love from Mama Bali, the island of the gods and the goddesses. I'm here arriving a bit early to prepare and anchor and deepen my own process here in Bali before welcoming the goddesses for the Divine Beauty retreat later in August. And today I really wanted to tune in about a topic that came up for me in a conversation with a beautiful sister today. And I was sitting at a breakfast table, basically, looking towards her. And in my direction, I could see the ocean and the sea. And she was looking at me, and behind me, she could see a sky and beanbags and these, Tibetan prayer flags. And so from each place each sister was sitting, we were seeing something completely different. And the topic of our conversation was the importance of acknowledging the truth of another being. Because in our world, we always think that there must be one truth, there must be one way of seeing things, there must be one big reality with a big R, or truth with a big T. And this completely disregards the truth that whether I was sitting on my side or she was sitting on her side, we would see completely different things. And both were true. And I think there's a place in life where egos tend to clash, where we hang on to our own way of seeing things as the one way to interpret and receive reality. And especially, and even on the path of consciousness, this starts to happen with, let's say, people who are still asleep or still living in the 3D. And what I realized during this conversation is that even from that perspective, from a sleeping perspective, from a 3D perspective, from a matter-based focus, still what is seen is true from that place, from that frequency. And so if I spent a whole conversation with someone seeing something and me seeing something else, arguing, trying to convince and dismiss the truth of another, I could never win, because that's literally what they are seeing with their eyes in the point and place and time where they're standing. So this is just a reminder today for you to consider the place from which you're standing and realize from that place you're going to see a truth, a reality. And a person standing from a completely different angle might see something completely different. And so this topic of the conversation today was so stimulating to my mind and my being, and a very important reminder. It was also a reminder that sometimes your teachers and your guides come in a breakfast conversation. So somebody might have an important message for you to see because they're seeing the other way. So she was seeing the flags behind me, the bean bags, and in a deeper sense, this theme that we were discussing. And maybe this is something I wouldn't have seen on my own. So it's not a matter of someone having a higher truth or a lower truth, but simply just a different angle to see. And that's why we enrich each other's realities, because no one person can sit at the front and say they know the truth, because they know a truth. And so your job is to be a part of that circle, and from your angle, see what is the truth that you see, that you feel, that you know to be true. And when we complement the puzzle with every angle, every voice spoken, every angle discovered and seen and acknowledged, then we can have a more whole truth that brings all the pieces together, that integrates the whole, rather than cuts off pieces of the body. It's like you cutting off your arm or your leg, and saying, no, the truth is that this is the body. So instead of cutting off pieces of yourself, your wider self, your broader self, the human self, can you absorb and engage and listen to maybe what somebody sees from a different angle? And this is a message for you as much as it is for me, because I know for me on the path of consciousness, it becomes like I only want to hear voices and opinions that are on the path. So this truth includes also broadening. It doesn't mean literally taking it in or making it your own truth, but simply hearing, number one, and acknowledging. Yes, I see this as your truth. So maybe this is something you can practice with your parents, with your family, with your mom, with your dad, with your sisters, with your teacher. But then you can also remind them that just like you have your truth, I have mine. I hope this was a useful message for you today. I'll see you again next week and have a beautiful day.